Hi, I'm Anne Collard. I'm Head of Payments Industry at ANZ, and I'm here today outside the Stock Exchange building talking to Victoria Richardson, who's leading the work for the Australian Payments Council on digital identity. What does digital identity actually mean to us in Australia?
I think that the importance of digital identity is all about building trust online. So when the internet was first built, we didn't have trust online. There was communication between known and trusted parties. As it's evolved, we haven't really put that trust layer into the internet. So there was this very famous New Yorker cartoon. It says, on the internet, no one knows you're a dog. And that was in 1993. And between then and now, all that we've done is evolve it to a point where really on the internet, no one knows whether you're a fridge pretending to be a toaster. And I think that's inherently problematic for people and businesses transacting online.
Victoria, in other countries, digital identity is framed in different ways. How do you see Australia moving forward in terms of the model that would work for this country?
It's a really good question because when we're looking at it, it's really important to bootstrap what other countries have done. You know, there are lots of benefits of being a fast follower in this respect. So in many countries, there is a mandated government digital identity, which has enabled the private sector services to build out from that. Strong examples of those are Estonia and China. But that's not something that we can replicate in this country. We don't have a mandated government identity. In other countries, the private sector and the public sectors have worked really closely together to deliver a digital identity infrastructure. The Nordics is a really good example of that. In Norway, the banks got together, they created Bank ID, and then the government worked with them. They saw this incredible work that the banks had done where they'd joined together to create some common standards and a liability framework. And the government decided to use that for the delivery of government services. And Norway is a really interesting example of the importance of mobile as well. As soon as they made the digital identity available on a mobile, the use went through the roof.
Victoria, I understand that in some countries, whilst they've established an identity environment, there have been some challenges in terms of consumer or customer take-up. Would you give me a little bit of understanding of why there have been some challenges there?
I think one of the challenges when you're looking at solving what is partially a technical problem, you are inclined to start with the standards and how it might work. And really what's important is starting with the customer journey, starting with the people who will be using these services. And with that in mind, when we've looked at this in Australia, we've said, let's start with customers. Let's try and understand the problems that they're facing online. Let's look at those points of friction. And before we build anything, before we decide on any standards, let's have a look at the environment that they're using online. And this is really important for us where we don't have a government mandate for digital identity and we have to create customer pull. We have to offer a service that people inherently, intrinsically want to use.
Victoria, in Australia at the moment, there are a lot of government initiatives and initiatives from the private sector around digital identity, specifically things like open banking. How would you see digital identity benefiting the world of open banking in the future?
I think in an open banking environment, digital identity really is an enabler. So if we imagine 2 or 3 years from now where I'm online, I'm looking at a loan site, and I want to apply for a loan. And with the new comprehensive right to data, I will be able to instruct my bank to share, let's say, 2 years of transaction with the loan company. And what's really important there is that the bank understand it's me making that request. That comes down to digital identity. And also that the bank is able to effectively identify the company that I want to share that data with.
So basically you're saying that I would be able to be shopping, and wherever I go shopping, I could either give a component of my identity or expect that I've already established that with that company, or they've already been able to get it from someone I've told them they can get it from. So I'm not actually having to do that all over again. So it's going to be a real benefit to me going forward.
Absolutely, that's right, Anne.
Victoria, thank you. We've heard a lot about digital identity, where we are today, and what's looking to happen in the future, both in private industry and how the government is getting involved. So thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to the work that the Council is going to be doing in the future and look forward to seeing where this is heading. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure, Anne.